All right, we are live back on the Andre Duke Show. I don't know if Carter's going to be joining us, but wow, um, Alabama with a stunning defeat of from Vanderbilt. This is I don't know what to say. I am instantly shock, awe. Um, Vanderbilt is going to be wanting DeBoer's head on a stick, I would assume. Um, I've I this is probably outside of uh outside of a major upset. This has got to be the biggest SEC upset. I think this is way worse than possibly Marcus Freeman losing to Marshall, losing to Northern Illinois. This is the loss of the century. Alabama fans are not going to forget this ever. Um, Jalen Milrow, 19 to 25 uh, for 312 yards. Diego Pavia, what a story that kid has been. That performance dipped in, just the grit to win that game. Vanderbilt ran the ball they ran the ball 54 times on Alabama. This is just that Bama defense. Can Womack got to get it figured out uh, because you can run on them. Uh, Brian Williams, he ended up having a pretty decent day. 3 catches, 82 yards. I would have thought they would have got him more involved. But nothing really wowing you on the Vanderbilt offensive side of the ball, to be honest. We'll roll over the team stats here, but I haven't seen them at their entirety yet. But uh, gave up 26 first downs. Here's probably the telling stat of the game. Vanderbilt 12 of 18 on third down. You got to be able to get off the field at some point. That's just not going to cut it. 418 yards of total offense. Also, again, just not going to cut it. Vanderbilt had over 166 yards rushing. And the biggest stat of the day, Vanderbilt possessed the ball for 42 minutes of the game. Alabama only had the ball 17 minutes. Yeah, Carter's got one here. Yeah, I know the Alabama fans are going to probably want DeBoer on the hot seat, but you can't turn the ball over. The interception and throw an interception, the fumble, just not good. And also, if you're watching out there on Twitter, come on over to YouTube and get interactive and hit the like and subscribe button. We're trying to grow this show, but yeah, the Alabama debacle, the DeBoer debacle is probably what your best bet is to call it at this point in time. Time of possession killed them today. Everybody was looking for DeBoer's first loss last week, and this is an extreme high and a low low. I just don't think that this is going to be good. I'm sure that press conference is not going to be a fun one for Mr. DeBoer. It's just Diego Pavia. They're tearing down the goalposts as we speak at Vanderbilt. It's just not a good time to be an Alabama fan right now. Vandy outpossessed them of the football, and time of possession kills you. And then when you don't make the most of your opportunities, and this is on the positive outlook, I would say, if you're an Alabama fan, is that you can go through one loss, even though it's a bad loss. I'm not discrediting that it's not a bad loss. Um, it's just the fact that this loss doesn't necessarily mean your playoff hopes are dead. Um, yeah, yep, that is a good point. Carter brings up that Vandy was 0-60 versus top 5 teams in their history. Unacceptable. And yeah, every Bama fan's got to be begging for Saban. Um, saying that that they hired the wrong guy. I just think that this is they're down bad right now, and I don't know where. Um, I mean, you're not Alabama's not as down bad as Florida State, but it's a regime change. They just gotta get something figured out here. It's you can't let this mount. Alabama 3 of 7 on third down. Uh, the interesting stat they have were 6 for 57 on penalties, so can always clean that up. Can always do better. If you're an Alabama fan out there, if you're watching on Twitter, come on over and to YouTube and ask some questions. And I would like to know how they are feeling. The Alabama Alabama fan base is going to be probably ready to melt here soon. The Twitter sphere, everything that's going on, it's just not conducive for the past. Um, the SEC, where it means more, but this is uh, this is probably the biggest upset I think of the last 5 years. Vandy being 0-60, it's not not good. Um, it would be great to get some people over here to ask some questions. This is definitely going to shake up the top 25 for sure. Um, they are. It's Yeah. I'd like to hear DeBoer's comments whenever those become available, um, just to see how he's going to be able to get out of this or try to deflect. And I'm sure he's going to take responsibility. Uh, they are the message board gurus out there. He's got some of the Bama fans want Kane Womack fired. Kane Womack. This is not my. I'm reading a tweet. It says Kane Womack should be fired, and he should fired immediately. He should also have to walk back to Tuscaloosa. Uh, go back to Washington and South Alabama, losers. Fire him tonight. Go from the penthouse to the outhouse in 1 week, as one Bama Dan writes. This is this is not good. I yeah. There's a lot of things on Twitter right now. Just reading some tweets. Kalen DeBoer has no balls. Horrible defensive game plan. Um, that is a wild time. Yep, they have officially taken down the goalpost at Vanderbilt. So yeah, that's where we're at. Gonna have to get it figured out. The fans obviously are telling, or well, saying, have been saying, Saban wouldn't let him get back in the game. And for Bama fans, this is that Caitlin DeBoer is your guy. This is where it's at. So whether you like it, love it, or you know, you're gonna have to deal with it, and that is the stark reality of the situation. Um, I don't know, as far as looking at the stats, the they ran the ball down your throat is what essentially that it amounts to me. It just watching the game in its entirety. I would probably have to watch it on 22 just to see exactly how bad it was. Um, to me, it looked like Alabama struggled really bad with that like stretch run, or RPO as some people would call it. Um, it is really rough when you pull up ESPN and it opens with a Verbo ad of Nick Saban. So um, I I I think it's one of those that you gotta have. It's not about how you start. It's essentially how you finish. So um, and just trying to I was trying to see if there was any quotes yet from Caitlin DeBoer. So, but yeah, Vandy's all over the field. They are storming the field, but also we can check out some other scores if everybody is out there. Boise's up big on Utah State. No shock. Clemson beating Florida State. Arkansas up early. Washington up. Minnesota in USC. Might as well watch paint dry. Iowa. It's just not the greatest of games on right now, but I'm sure Alabama fan out there is probably wanting to um, try to get something figured out. I'm sure that if I was the person that ran the Alabama Twitter, I don't think I would be tweeting anything right now. Just they tweeted the final score. I bet there's some uh okay. All right. We got some content here. Uh the Red Ranger, the worst loss in Alabama football history. As a Georgia fan, I send my condolences to Alabama. That's that was something that a couple of people that I knew that are in the podcast game um for the Alabama side of things. You probably shouldn't have been trolling Georgia as bad as you did when you beat them. I think that as Alabama fans, I am not an Alabama fan by any means, but I, it, if they win, it doesn't bother me. If they lose, it doesn't bother me. I'm there now. There's going to be some people losing some sleep over this, but I think when you've seen all the tweets about Alabama fans tweeting at the Georgia fans and the Georgia account, this has got to be something that you have to be reminded of, just for the simple fact of you you got egg on your face now, and this is not conducive for you know Alabama championship football going forward. Do I think that this one loss derails their playoff chances? No. Um, but to me, trying to possess the ball for over 40 minutes in a 60-minute game is just wild to me. So, um, it's just not somebody just tweeted roll shit. No, no. Um, yeah, there's a lot of we want Saban back talk. Um, a lot of broken TVs, I'm going to assume. The LSU fan, the Georgia fan, uh, uh, LA Ray, what is this? I don't know. I'd have to look at Bama's schedule, but I mean, that's possible. A loss to Vandy. Could this mean that Vandy doesn't finish dead last in the SEC this year? But also another underlying thing that people are not realizing, the folks that are on staff at Vandy, a couple of them came over with Jerry Kill from New Mexico State. That's the team that beat Auburn last year in Auburn. And Jerry Kill is a great evaluator of talent. And a lot of people underestimate that as far as he had Minnesota trending in the right direction, which I don't know if you've ever been to Minnesota. It's not that desirable. It's really not. It's like a northern Nebraska. Outside of Minneapolis, St. Paul area, there's nothing. It's just a whole bunch of backwoods, a whole lot of nothing up there, and it's really hard to recruit kids to go there. But Jerry Kill is like an advisor on staff, and that's something that I don't think a lot of people are looking at. They need to give Jerry Kill and some credit here because he brought quite a few New Mexico State players over with him when he decided to step down. He had some health issues, and he is kind of having some responsibility, but not a whole bunch. Uh, Alabama's existing schedule, they got South Carolina at home. They got three big road games. They got to go to Tennessee, got to go to LSU, and got to go to Oklahoma. So I after and then you got Auburn at the end of the season, and Peyton Thorne and Hugh Freeze almost got it done last year if it wasn't for some late round heroics for Milrow. You're probably staring at another loss. So they got, I mean, they have Mercer. That's and then Missouri. What is Missouri? Missouri wilted in the sun today against Texas A&M. So maybe Missouri is a little overrated, but where do you go from here? It was all rainbows, butterflies. What is Ray talking? Ouch. Tough schedule for Bama. Yeah, I agree to that. The road games, especially. And who knew Vandy was going to be a tough test on the road? That it's when it comes to some of these schools in the SEC, you're on 7-day contracts anymore. Kalen DeBoer's got a 7-day contract. You're as good as your last loss or as your last win. And then it's just wild to me that is he on the hot seat for losing one game? That's a lot of people saying this is not Nick Saban's Alabama. Well, it's not because Nick Saban's not the coach. Alabama probably lost more than anybody in the transfer portal. So seeing this result, am I shocked? Yes. But the existing schedule is going to be tough for Alabama moving forward. South Carolina, Tennessee, Missouri, LSU, Mercer, Oklahoma at Oklahoma, Auburn. Uh, those are not Oklahoma. I think will be better than what people think. Um, but they got Mercer sandwiched in between there, and Alabama's got a bye in between Missouri and LSU. So, but if you're South Carolina, I think that you, you they just lost last week. You got to go to their place and play them. South Carolina didn't have a great day today against Ole Miss. It was a tough loss. I just and I also feel like the divisions that having no divisions in the SEC really hurts Bama. Um, because A&M is sitting on top of the SEC. That was not on my bingo card following week 1. And just some late game action that we got rolling on here. The Hogs got Tennessee. The Hogs are up by a field goal. FSU is driving. Just got a holding penalty, so that play doesn't count. Michigan and Alex Orji wonder if they are going to discover the forward pass. Nope, Orji takes off and scrambles. Imagine that. And trying to think of what is. And then we got the fighting Billy Napiers in USF and Gus Malzahn taking on Napier taking on Gus. So, there's some good football on, and you got the late game, Miami, Woke versus Coke. So we're going to be ready to roll here. It's a action-packed Saturday, but I just thought that we just hop on and talk some of this Alabama stuff. Yes, another one coming through from Bama Online, another comment in the message board genius is where I'm getting these comments from. Somebody hit, we are blaming Nick Saban. He's not even the coach, and they're blaming Nick Saban. He left us to die. Oh, that is a interesting take, I would say. Saban left him to die. We are, it's trending in not. Some people will say it's trending in the wrong direction, but I don't know. It's Vanderbilt, and Vandy's like, they have the picture of the dragons that it's the two serious ones, and Vandy's committed some resources now. I'm just waiting on to see what Kalen DeBoer had to say, if there's any comment yet. This is just it's a bizarre day for Alabama, I would say. This is whenever you talk about this, it's like you can't make it up. You cannot make this up. The Miami Hurricane fans are probably going to be going wild. The Wolverines, as we like to call them, the Wolverines, because they are, Miami and Michigan fans, oddly, strangely enough, call them the Wolverines. But we're 30 minutes in here. If everybody could do us a big favor, if you could come over to YouTube and hit the like and subscribe button and help us grow this show, because that is something that we're, trying to do, trying to get the platform out there, trying to get it off the ground. And just, it's just a wild time. And this is another thing going into the transfer portal era. It's watered down product. Whenever you come to look at it, the product. I mean, there's a reason why Vandy was 0-60, coming into this game. It's just unbelievable. Oh, what's message board genius? Yeah, uh, Ray Hele. The message board genius is it's a Twitter account that I follow, and they post fan meltdowns from the pay side of it. So anytime anybody's down, the fire everybody. That's hashtag fire everybody. So like right now, Alabama's having on the message boards. They are having an um, absolute meltdown. Uh, yeah, this is huge. Thanks for the thanks for coming over and watching. And if you can, hit the like and subscribe button. Helps out the show. Hold on. Allergies kicking up. But yeah, so this is going to completely reshape the top 25. Um, with the implication of this, um, let me get the top 25 pulled up because we're a one man band over here right now. My guy Carter's tied up doing some stuff, but so I would say Texas and Ohio State is 1 and 2. Uh, Justin the Indie Troll Sniper. Yeah, Bama fans down bad. They're gonna be ready to fire DeBoer. I have a feeling Alabama fan is ready to fire DeBoer. I mean, you've seen it last week. They were ready to. The Ole Miss fans were ready to throw Lane out the window. So another team that could creep in and creep up on people is the Clemson could find themselves into the playoff, and maybe the ACC can get two teams after this. Because I'm not ready to completely say the SEC deserves four. Uh, I think they'll get four, but I don't think do they deserve four because realistically, outside of that, Clemson has dominated pretty much everybody they've played so far. So uh, I think the Big Ten will get four. So I think the ACC has an argument for two. Clemson and Miami. Because I don't think Clemson or Miami would be losing to Vandy. It's just that's just where we're at here. Uh, Somebody very prominent in the coaching world. I sent them a DM about um, the Jerry Kill effect is real uh, at the at Vandy, and he said yes. And Earl here is. Can you imagine the range of emotions for Bama fans from one Saturday to the next? Yeah, I mean it's rough out there. It is rough. Twitter is going to be rough. I wouldn't be shocked if DeBoer comes home to for sale signs in his yard. Um, that's just where we're at here. Uh, you know, he was going to eventually lose a game at some point. He was going to lose. So for the people that want to throw the guy out the window, it's I'm not going to say it's like not his fault, but to a certain extent it is his fault, but you can't be unrealistic. And I get it, at Alabama you never really did a whole lot of losing, for the past what was Saban there 17, 18 years. So I get it. Saban won 6 natties, but it's looking I and they're going to be all over Kane Womack big time too. And I understand that. It's just at some point they've got to they got to they got to do something. And it's funny because a lot of people are going at the Caleb Downs thing. And what Yeah, I agree with that. Yep, they were ready to roll. Vandy, this was Vandy's Super Bowl, and they balled out. Diego Pavia, guys, the guy, not the biggest guy in the world, but you ain't gotta be. Diego Pavia, stood on business today, as some of the people would say out there. Diego, didn't play the best game in the world, the most exciting game in the world, but you know what he did? He made enough plays to win. And I just think that time of possession, I've never, that's wild. That's Naval Academy numbers. They limited Alabama's opportunities and limited their possessions. So you can only do so much when, yeah, you can only do so much. There's also some other things out there. Alabama. A lot of people are quote tweeting the Nick Saban, you got to pay the right players. Well, it looks like Bama might have paid the wrong players. Uh, it's is it going to be jump off the bandwagon time for uh, Alabama fans? This is where we're at right now. Uh, I think that you know there's going to be some people there not very happy. Uh, After a big game, you can see the difference in coaching styles. Kirby's guys came out and they played well today. I don't think they played their best game or their worst game, but they could have been better. But Kirby's guys come out and they take care of Hugh Freeze and in the Auburn Tigers. You know, eh, and Kalen DeBoer's team comes out and lays an egg on the road at Vanderbilt. So we got two different two different styles here. Um, and also it doesn't help that you're replacing the uh, legend in Nick Saban. Earl again. Be hard for the professors. Yeah, it's going to be. Um, it's just I cannot believe that you know where we are at in college football. I would have never dreamt in a million years that Vandy would even come close to having a chance at beating a Alabama, Ole Miss, or something like that. The NIL. You get the right guys in there, and you have the right game plan and execute it. This is what uh, executing a game plan looks like. This is how you get results when you're a less talented team. Uh, I I just say Alabama is a way more talented team than Vanderbilt, but talent doesn't beat. Sometimes talent beats hard work and grit prevailed today. Um, it's I don't get why people get 100% shocked whenever whenever some of this stuff happens. Um, I'm trying to find some of DeBoer's comments. Bear with me. I'm just trying to get this figured out here. Yeah, it's you know I'm sure the press conferences happened. I just wanted to see a loss at Washington and a loss at Alabama are two totally different spectrums. You go from being on top of the world to the bottom of the barrel in 1 week. It's you know Alabama fans are not going to be. Oh yeah, a lot of people lost some money on this one. A lot of people. Yep. I did not I did not bet this game. Uh Still nothing on the DeBoer side of it. It's probably still going on right now. So it's losing at Washington and losing at Alabama are two totally separate ranges of emotion. And Boise State has put up 42 points in one half of football. They are balling. And the Fighting Napiers are winning, which is a good thing. Michigan is losing, also a good thing. And Clemson is taking care of Florida State. So Tennessee looks like it's struggling on the road. So you might, Sam Pittman might be getting him a sneak win here. So, you got to play, you got to show up week to week. And I just cannot believe where we have came in college football. Caitlin DeBoer, he was going to lose one time. At some point, he was going to lose a game. You would have thought it would have been Georgia or, any Ole Miss or something to that effect. But you just cannot. You can't lose to Vanderbilt. Okay, Vandy is they are a program that has been circling the drain for a long time, and you just lost to them. But the addition of Jerry Kill, Diego Pavia, and they got some guys now. Apparently, Vandy's got some guys, and whenever you don't show up and you're inconsistent with your messaging week to week, and I thought it was funny. Kayla DeBoer and the Alabama staff put rat traps all over the facility. I seen that on social media, but you fell for the trap. You were in the proverbial trap. The rat always finds the cheese, and you found the cheese, Caitlin DeBoer, and that's why people in Tuscaloosa are going to be calling for your head on a stick, and you make a lot of money to not to lose to Vanderbilt. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say you need to figure it out. When you had all of when Saban's players are gone, it's going to be an issue. You are going to have to show that you can recruit, and there goes Donovan Edwards for a touchdown. You're going to have to recruit, and it's just not flowing right now as far as the Alabama stuff, and the Alabama fan deserves to be pissed off, in my opinion. This is probably upset. I can't think of a bigger one. Maybe Appalachian State, Texas A&M, but Texas A&M at that time was a dumpster fire, not the vaunted Alabama Crimson Tide. I would say Appalachian State, App State. It's got to be App State, A&M, maybe Michigan, App State. And yeah, Justin. Missouri, they wilted in the sun today. I just can't believe how bad Missouri looked. I did see some of the Missouri detractors saying something about officiating or something like that. And let me look into the camera and say, if you're going to blame officiating on like a 41-10 loss, you're not realistic with yourself at all. You're just not realistic. And the fact that you are even claiming that just doesn't mean you're living in reality at all. So, and then I guess for if you guys or who's ever watching it doesn't have access to the scores here, Colorado State, Oregon State, Missouri was a fraud anyway. Yeah, I could agree to that. What's his name? Eli Drinkowitz. We're gonna talk more about Eli on Monday, but just a little quick takeaway on Eli and the boys there. They had that big bowl win against an Ohio State team that had no quarterback, so they were riding high in the springtime. They got that big win in the bowl. They won the Cotton Bowl, and the it's funny because when they won that bowl game, they thought that they had elevated themselves to a higher plane, and clearly they have not. Luther Burton he's been on the side of a milk carton. Um, but Clemson all over Florida State. No DJU in that one. I guess Nico's playing for Tennessee. The Fighting Napiers are rolling right now against UCF. Um, Old Dominion in Coastal Carolina, the Chanticleers, 20, Coastal Carolina 21, Old Dominion. What is F Illinois? Yeah, what did the Illini do? What do we got here? Vanderbilt plays Kentucky, Texas, Auburn, South Carolina, LSU, and Tennessee. Yeah, it's going to be a tough road to hoe for Vandy. Just by looking at that, Texas is going to be the number one team in the country. Yeah, Iowa State, yes, against Baylor. Yeah, that would help Notre Dame. On the Notre Dame front, Florida scores. That's a big score for Florida going up on UCF. When it comes to the playoff, Notre Dame's got to win out because they can't take another loss. Just on the Notre Dame side of it, I know we cover Notre Dame on this show, but Notre Dame cannot take another loss. That's point blank period. Because if they take another loss, they're out of the playoffs. I don't think they'll put them in. I just don't. And then, oddly enough, looking at the rest of Notre Dame's schedule, if they do lose, do you really want to go to the playoffs and get embarrassed? Because, you could end up, drawing Georgia, Ohio State, and I just don't think Notre Dame is there quite yet offensively on that side of the ball. And I just think that that's one of those deals that they got to get sorted out, to be honest. But yeah, Iowa State is down to Iowa State is down to Baylor. And so with that, and then you have USC, which is also on Notre Dame's schedule. Sorry, I gotta send a text. But yeah, USC is up on Minnesota, at Minnesota. Yeah, I agree with you, Ray. Notre Dame could win out, but they got to beat USC in Troy land in LA. That's not going to be a fun time, I don't believe. Yeah, I agree with you, Justin. What I think Marcus needs to make the playoffs. Earl, how far will Alabama fall? I'm an LSU fan, so I love this. I think Alabama falls to like 6 or 7 in the rankings. That just my opinion. I think it's 6 or 7. That's the problem they have, because they're being number one. How far do they fall? Is really tough. I would say 5 or 6. But, some things are going to get weird here because Arkansas is driving on Tennessee, and Tennessee hasn't looked great today. And maybe Texas is the legit number one team in the nation. We're going to find out when they play Georgia, but it is clearly not Alabama. But could they get in the playoffs? Yeah, I don't think they're in any concern of not making the playoffs, but I just feel like there is a big a big disconnect, but they got to figure it out on the defensive side of the ball going forward for Alabama to get this together, because there's just you can't be trying to be one of the top. It would take two more losses for Bama not to make it. I think in the SEC you get yeah, as soon as you hit that third loss, I think you're done. I think 9-3 is a no-go. 10-2, 11-1, undefeated. But I think 9-3, I don't think they'll put a 9-3 team in unless it's the group of 5 team. But the highest ranked group of 5 team gets in no matter what. I believe they have an automatic bid. Uh the Fighting Kenny Dillinghams and Kansas Kansas and Lance Leopold, not the greatest start to the season either. Hawaii, San Diego State, for all you Aztec fans out there that are watching. Iowa State just scored, missed the extra point. That could be looming huge. Uh, the Fighting Row Your Boats, PJ Fleck, they are up on USC now, and they are driving. So that could get interesting there. Raging Cajuns up on Southern Miss. James Madison down right now to ULM, the Warhawks. Let's go, baby. Clemson's about to punch it in. So, yeah, Clemson's, I believe, them and Tennessee are the highest rated teams right now in action. But Florida coming off this bye, they really need this game. The fighting Billy Napiers, they really need it. They're fighting for a lot down there. No better time to do it than now. Some more of this message board stuff. It just keeps getting better and better. They have a thread on a Alabama message board. The topic of the thread is Vandy's quarterback is an alcoholic douchebag too. So they are, Alabama fan is, I get it. They're not all like that. Just some more Alabama stuff. It's an embarrassing loss. It's horrific. Nice. This defense is a bunch of bitches. We lost to freaking Vandy. Can we get Nick back? Don't think he's walking through the door, but should DeBoer get a second season? I just, I don't know what to tell you on that one. I'm not gonna say it's great. I don't have really an opinion on this. But I did tell people on our group of 5 show, Earl, if you're listening on Fridays, we do a group of 5 show, and we talk about the Sun Belt and the smaller conferences, because just doing something different. Want to give some of them other conferences, they got good players too, and show some love to those teams, even though they don't compete on a the playoff national schedule. But they winning the Sun Belt is a big deal. So. To those kids and those programs, the John Summerall, we talked about it earlier today. The Fighting Summeralls, they could be the playoff team out of the group of 5. I wouldn't be shocked. Their only 2 losses are to Kansas State and Oklahoma. Those are 2 pretty good losses for a group of 5 team. So I'm just saying, keep an eye on the Fighting John Summeralls. That's all I'm saying. Don't count them out. Georgia Tech is up on Duke for all you Blue Devil football fans out there. What is this? 60 straight losses to top top 5 teams for Vanderbilt. Um, trying to get it. In addition to number 1 being Alabama's ranking in Saturday's contest, and this is Vandy's first ever win over a top ranked team, and it's also marked the first time the Commodores have scored 40 points or more against a top 5 opponent. Yikes! Vanderbilt quarterback Diego Pavia is something. Yeah, the Sun Belt has grown a lot, Earl, and they have good players there. A lot of the people that want to make fun of the smaller schools, but if you look around NFL rosters, a lot of Sun Belt guys, a lot of MAC guys, a lot of Conference USA guys. So they got dudes too. A lot of times, sometimes the big programs don't take them if they got issues, or somebody is that doesn't play the stupid um, the scouting game. Across 4 games against Alabama during the Nick Saban tenure, Vanderbilt only scored 13 points. The Commodores scored 13 points in the first quarter. So, if that is a indication of where we're heading, Vanderbilt, they made them bite the cheese. They had 60 consecutive losses, which was the longest streak dating back to 1936 against AP top 5 teams. That is a hell of a streak. So here's a good stat that ESPN put out. Pavia finished Saturday 16 of 20, throwing for 252 yards and a pair of scores. His 80% completion percentage is the highest mark by an opposing Crimson Tide by an opposing player against the Crimson Tide since 2010. Steven Garcia threw for 85%. South Carolina Gamecock. Fun fact of the day. So that is that. Getting ready to wind her down here, but I can't believe it. Texas A&M blows out Missouri. So it's been a strange day to say the least. They're re-showing the toss reverse to Ryan Williams, but Vandy with the under construction stadium, and they go in there and they snatch them a win. It's really truly unbelievable, because a lot of people had Vandy DOA, dead on arrival, today, and that's that goes to show you that you got to play every game, and you got to take every opponent serious. And when you don't start taking opponents serious, this is the result. They're not going to be the Alabama fans are not going to be letting Kalen DeBoer, they're not going to be letting DeBoer hear the end of this anytime soon. So he's going to have to be hearing about this, and this will be brought up every single at the water cooler, when you go to work, if you work with an LSU fan or a Texas A&M fan, no matter where you're at in the country, they're going to be saying, remember that time you guys lost to Vandy? Just like, even though we cover Notre Dame, they bring it up. People bring up the NIE, Northern Illinois' loss. They bring up, these group of 5 teams. Northern Illinois has a boneyard where they put, the score on a bone, and they call it the boneyard when they beat Power 5 teams. Even though Vandy is a Power 5 team, it's just the simple fact of, they are getting in there and they are coming to whoop your ass. And Vanderbilt came out, guns a blazing, and said, Alabama, the A on that chest, or the A on the A on the jersey, that doesn't intimidate us. They came out, they punched you in the mouth, and they beat your ass up and knocked your ass out for 4 quarters of football. That's what happened. That is essentially what happened. And you can tell me it's not, but you had the ball for 17 minutes. You know, they knocked your ass out and beat your ass up. It's that's just what it is. And the Alabama fan probably is not going to be able to want to stomach this or hear this, but I think Alabama needs to look themselves in the mirror for all those times that they bitched about Nick Saban doing this, that, or the fifth. I'm sure as hell bet you like to have him back. It's just what it's at. It's where it's at, and maybe DeBoer and Kane Womack can figure it out, but I don't think they have a scheme issue. I think they have a personnel issue, is what I think is the issue. Alabama lost a lot of players. They lost Caleb Downs out of that secondary. That's a huge part of it. The Alabama fan wants to say, well, he didn't look very good against South Florida. Well, that was just one fucking game, okay? So I think you need to take a look at what you don't have as far as personnel wise, and go back and look and see what jumped in the portal and left, because I think they have depth issues in the secondary, and I think they just have an overall secondary issue. And I don't think they fit the run particularly well today. But, my good buddy Kirk Barton said that, it's going to be an adjustment, with a new staff taking over a major program like Alabama. You would be naive not to think that there was going to be, I'm not saying a drop off or a fall off, but I'm just saying you would be dumb to believe that there wasn't going to be some changes and that it would bring to this. They're saying send the losers back to South Alabama and Washington. I think that's harsh. It really doesn't matter what I think. I'm not the guy signing DeBoer's checks, but I guarantee you he's hearing about this. I was hoping they would had comments from the press conference out already, but I haven't seen anything. Is what I'm looking for. If anybody on the interwebs can find that, I'd just like to hear what DeBoer had to say after the game. That's what I'm, the headline they got rolling here: Vanderbilt takes down #1 Alabama in its historic college football victory. Clark Lee, biggest win ever. This is a dream right here, Lee said. And for the next 12 hours, I'm going to enjoy the dream. Hey, Clark Lee, shout out to you, man. You put in the work, and this is the fruit that was bared from it. You get to take down #1 Alabama. That's just what the headline is. There's not a silver lining. There's none of that. It is a big shit sandwich that every Alabama fan is going to be lining up to take a bite of. It's a shit sandwich. So I don't know where you think Alabama goes from here. It's not good. So I guess we'll find out, and we're gonna be live Monday, 7:30. If you can, please like and subscribe to the show, because we're trying to grow this show. We're trying to grow it into a platform that people that want to come and interact. So with that being said, if you guys could come on over to YouTube and hit the like and subscribe button. That would be huge for our show and going forward. Uh, that's the DeBoer presser. But yeah, if you could, hit the like and subscribe button and help us out. We're just trying to grow this thing into something, to be proud of. But yeah, Alabama fan, you are eating a excrement sandwich right now, and you are gonna have to take a bite and enjoy it. But we're to the point to where you gotta stop living in the past, man. As what Bill Paxton said on Twister, got to stop living in the past. Gotta gotta take care of what's right in front of you. In Alabama, you didn't take care of shit. Caitlin DeBoer, your guys came out flat and got punched in the mouth by the Vanderbilt Commodores. So it's that's just that's the way the cookie crumbles, essentially. So Alabama, Caitlin DeBoer, you guys are gonna have to figure it out, as Dave Coulier would say from that's Uncle Jesse on Full House. Figure it out. So with that being said, this is the reaction show to the Alabama loss, a historic loss to Vanderbilt. So if you like this show or like this content, please hit the like and subscribe button. And we'll probably see you guys Monday. Have a good one.